Hello and welcome to the lecture series on automobile engineering. Today we'll discuss the components of the brake. This lecture is in sequence with the previous lecture in which we have studied about the basic two types of brakes, that is drum and disc. Here we'll discuss the basic components of the braking system. So we'll recapitulate the facts that we have discussed in last lecture. Okay. So we primarily covered disc brake and drum brake. Okay. And as we have discussed that the brake action in both the cases is similar. Okay. What is the brake action? The brake pedal is being pressed by the driver and it actuates the master cylinder. Okay, this is the main component of the braking system. So without this master cylinder we cannot apply the brakes onto the disc or drum. Okay, using these two components like caliper or wheel cylinder. So today we'll focus basically on this component, that is master cylinder. So we have seen that each wheel has a wheel cylinder. In case of say rear wheels, we have a wheel cylinder. So this wheel cylinder is used in case of the drum brake. Okay, so the vehicles which are fitted with the drum brake uh, are fitted with wheel cylinder also for operating the shoe. Okay, but if the vehicle is fitted like with caliper or disc brake, or this may be possibility that in the front wheels we are having some disc brake, because we have discussed that the braking efficiency in the front wheel is more as compared to the rear wheels because of the weight transfer phenomena while applying the brake. So this caliper uh, fitted with the disc brake may be used in the front side of the car. Okay, so the rear wheels where drum brakes are used is having a drum. Inside this drum the shoes are fitted and these are being actuated. In case of disc brake we have disc over which this caliper is fitted and the shoes are or pads are like this. Okay, so I have mentioned here front because in some cases we need better efficiency of brakes in front side. So in front wheels we may encounter with the disc brake, and in rear wheels we may use the drum brakes. Okay, so the most important component of the hydraulically operated braking system is the master cylinder. So we'll discuss in detail about the master cylinder. Okay, so this master cylinder, as we can see, consists of a reservoir for brake fluid. The brake fluid is stored inside this reservoir. So this master cylinder is basically operated by the brake pedal. So in this side we have a brake pedal. We have driver applies the brake pedal, presses the brake pedal. That is being transmitted to this push rod. That action is being transmitted to this push rod. Okay. So this master cylinder is operated by brake pedal and is connected to the wheel cylinder by this side. So we have steel pipings or pipelines for transferring the brake fluid that we have studied in previous version, and through this lining the wheel cylinders are connected. So the action is being transmitted in terms of high pressure fluid to the brake wheel cylinder. Okay, through using steel pipes. Okay, unions, we may use unions or flexible hoses. Okay, so this primary unit that is known as master cylinder is basically the heart of the hydraulic braking system. This is the prime component of the hydraulic braking system. Okay, in this we can see that the fluid reservoir compensates for any change in the fluid volume in the pipelines due to temperature variation and to some extent due to leakage. Okay, so we firstly see the various components of this master cylinder. So this is the push rod, this is circlip for fitting this system entire here. This is the rubber boot to prevent from dust particles. This is stop washer that stops this particular assembly. Secondary seal, these are piston holes. This is the piston. Okay, this is the piston and these are piston holes. Inside this piston we have holes. Okay, we'll see the purpose. This is primary seal, the black one is the primary seal. This chamber is known as the compression chamber. This is the rubber cap, fluid check valve. This ensures that the fluid passes in only one direction. Okay, so I'm sorry. Uh, I want to say that this is the fluid check valve. While applying the compression, this opens and allows the fluid to move in the forward direction. While in return, this again comes from the check valve. Okay, this is the bypass port. Okay, this is intake port. Okay, so we'll see the action how it works basically. So when we can see that there are number of holes in the piston head on the primary seal side. Okay, so on this side we have a number of holes. Two holes connect at the fluid reservoir to the compression chamber, so which are visible here basically. The smaller one out of these is around 0.7 mm diameter and is called the bypass or compression port. Okay, this is bypass port. These ports are being operated by the piston itself. Besides this bypass port, there is a vent in the cap. Okay, to keep the brake fluid always at atmospheric pressure. So there is a vent, air vent in the cap. So this is filled up to some level by the brake fluid, above which atmospheric pressure will be acted upon. Okay, so this atmospheric pressure will be allowing this to move inside this particular compression chamber. This fluid will move to this compression chamber. Okay, through inlet port. Okay, now we can see that the push rod is operated with the foot brake pedal using suitable linkage when pressed by the driver. So when the driver presses this pedal, what happens? Push rod moves to this side. Okay, against the force of the spring. There is a spring. This push rod pushes the piston against the spring force. This spring force get compressed. Okay, so further movement of the push rod causes building up of pressure in the compression chamber against the spring force. Finally, what happens when sufficient pressure has built up? Then what will happen? The inner rubber cup of the fluid check valve is deflected. Okay, this one. This will be deflected. Inner rubber cup will be deflected. Okay, this part. This forces the fluid under pressure in the lines. So from here the fluid passes to the lines. This fluid enters the wheel cylinder by using the steel pipings. Okay, and moves the that pistons of the wheel cylinder or calipers in case of disc brakes. So when the brake pedal is released, what happens? When we release the brake pedal, so what happens? The spring pressure inside this compression chamber moves the piston to the right extreme position. This forces back the piston to the right extreme position. This same force, the spring keeps the fluid check valve pressed on its seat for some time and thereby delays the return of the fluid from lines into the compression chamber. So due to this action, okay, this fluid suddenly do not come inside the compression chamber, but it comes after certain time when this spring is sufficiently enlarged. Okay, so some delay is also caused by the inertia of the fluid in lines. So while it moves further, the return pressure is less. So due to inertia, this will take some time to come back. Okay, this produces a vacuum in the compression chamber, and unless this vacuum is destroyed immediately, there are all chances of air leaking into the system. Even a very small amount of air may choke or clog the system. Okay, so the system becomes compressible. The fluid becomes compressible in case of entrapment of the air inside the brake linings. So this problem may be solved by uh, bleeding the brake at suitable interval of time when we feel that the brakes are not effective as it was effective in the original version. So so what will happen during the return action? We can also see that what is the function of these holes. We can note that we can feel that while pushing forward of this piston during compression stroke, this seal will be stuck with the walls of the this master cylinder. Okay, this will be expanded. But while coming back, this portion comes down like this, and through this hole some of the oil comes back and goes inside the fluid reservoir, okay, using this port or this port. Now see why it is made vacant here, because the fluid which is returning may enter from this side and may leave to this side. And there is one more purpose, that while returning, when the fluid enters, this basically primary seal is deflected like this, okay, and this. So due to this deflection, the oil enters from this side and goes inside the piston this side. So this return back to the reservoir. Also it lubricates the various parts of the piston holes, okay, and pistons. So this is another purpose of providing the holes inside the piston, okay. So this was regarding master cylinder. So this is one of the important elements of primary braking system. So what we have seen, we'll summarize here. So this master cylinder displaces brake fluid under pressure to brake system, that we have discussed. When brake pedal is depressed, that is pressed by the driver, push rod moves the primary piston forward in the cylinder. So hydraulic pressure, which is at very high pressure, created, and the force of the primary piston spring moves the secondary piston forward. So, so, so this is the action basically. Okay, and now we are talking in terms of another device which is known as tandem master cylinder. Okay, so firstly we'll look this and then entire summarize the process. So tandem master cylinder is basically a safety feature that is provided in the master cylinder. So why it is provided? If one system fails, the other will still work. So we can see here basically two circuits are there. Okay, there are two circuits, and in case of tandem master cylinder we have two compartments for brake fluid, bigger for front and smaller for rear end, okay. So tandem master cylinder ensures reliability with not much extra cost, so it is reliable and safer. So in this system, separate lines go to different sections of the brake system, say for rear and the front brakes, and it is arranged if that the front brake lines are damaged, the rear brake lines will still be effective. So this is a safety feature, because in case of this master cylinder, say suppose that if there is some damage or there is some wear out of the component, then the both the braking system will stop working, because the front as well as rear brakes are connected using this lining only. There is single lining, so this may cause some deviation while operation if there occurs an error inside the system. To prevent this sort of problem, we have tandem master cylinder. So now we can see here the reservoir is divided into two parts. Both are filled with the oil. These are ports through which it enters inside the compression chamber. And we can see here these pistons are fitted over here. This is not a single piston. So two springs are there, this spring and this spring. So one side is fitted to the front end, other side is fitted to the rear end, okay. So if this end becomes damaged or it becomes faulty due to some reason, then still the rear brakes will be applied, okay. This is the advantage, okay. Similarly, it happens in case this lining becomes damaged, the other will be working. So this is a safety feature. So under ordinary conditions, that is normal working condition, the brake fluid will transmit pressure both to the front as well as to the rear brakes. So when the brake pressure is applied. However, say if the front brake linings are damaged, piston 2 will move till comes against stop number 3. Okay. So after this, we can apply at least one brake at a time. Okay. So now we'll summarize this one, because this consists of the information of tandem master cylinder 2. So in case of tandem master cylinder, the forward movement of the piston causes primary cups to cover bypass holes, hydraulic pressure builds up and transmitted to the wheel cylinders. So when the pedal is being retracted, the piston allows fluid from the reservoir to fill the chamber back. Special sensors within the master cylinder used to monitor level of fluid in reservoir and alerts the driver if the pressure imbalance develops. Okay, some indicators are there on the dashboard of the driver, so that indication is made so that he can understand that there is some failure inside the braking system. So standard dual master cylinder gives front and rear brake separate hydraulic systems that we have discussed. Okay, so now we'll discuss about the brake linings. So brake linings or lines are steel tubings with copper and lead coatings to prevent rust and corrosion. Basically, they are made of steel. Okay. As the brake pedal is depressed, as we have discussed, it moves pistons within the master cylinder and forcing hydraulic brake fluid. Okay. So here the power brake booster we'll discuss in power brake, that basically boost the force that is being applied over the master cylinder. Okay. And there are combination valve, rear hydraulic control unit, rear wheels. Okay, these are two wheels, right wheel and left wheel on the rear side, and right wheel on the and left wheel on the front side. Okay, so this is combination valve that basically meters the quantity of this fluid to be transferred uh, uh, to the right side as well as to the left side. Okay, and this is hydraulic control unit that controls the amount of braking that is to be applied over these two. Okay, so hand operated brakes are basically, these are parking brakes. Okay, so hand brake lever is being pressed manually, so this motion is transmitted using primary cable to the brake compensator, where secondary cables are fitted over this compensator, and this manually operates the shoes of the drum brakes that are fitted inside it. So it's basically an internal expanding type of brake which is being operated manually. Okay, now about the brake fluid, we have certain brake fluids, and these are recommended by various manufacturers that depends upon their specification. Okay, and the common one are this dot 3, dot 4, dot 5. So these are basically available in the market. Okay, and brake parts can be cleaned with brake fluid. Okay, this has the property of cleansing action also, and other properties include the boiling point is high, they do not boil even at very high temperatures, they are tolerable, water tolerant. Okay, they can tolerate the water up to some extent. Low freezing point, they do not freeze at colder atmosphere. They are non corrosive, basically they do not corrode with the rubber, plastic or metal. Okay, so brake fluids are like this. Silicone can be can also be used as a brake fluid, and the service include the visual inspection of the brakes. Manually we can check the liners, the thickness of the lining, we can measure using the feeler gauge or some other device. We can resurface the brakes if possible within the prescribed limit. We can repair the brakes if some damage is there, we can repair it. We can recondition the brake, we can grind the brakes as per our requirement if it is within the feasible limit. And brake bleeding is also adapted in case of air is being entrapped inside the braking system, then we can bleed the brake so that the air can be extracted out of the linings. So this will make the incompressibility feature of the brakes, and we can test the brakes using various procedures. So this was regarding the components of the braking system, in which we mainly focused on the master cylinder and tandem master cylinder.